try this. See if audio is working. Why can I not hear anything? Check, check, check. See if I can hear anything now. Why is there no volume when I'm looking at volume? Okay. Test 1, 2. Get this new microphone working. It sounds like it's working. Hi, Julie. Yeah, I was listening to Llyons live as I was setting all of this up. And let me turn the volume down on the TV. So, got a new mic system. Yeah, I was listening to Llyons. And the other day I had all my tools running and everyone was being deafened because it was so loud. So I'm adjusting one of the places I'll be working. I didn't mean to steal people from Llyons, but I wanted him to see this. Looks like I just got the audio going. Test one, can you guys hear me? There we go. Imagine that I figured something out. Hey, Cobb. I would expect nothing less from you. All right, so this one's almost done. And then I'm gonna move the cameras around and start on something else. Side, be careful, you might get in trouble for lack of truth in advertising with that text. So how bad is the background noise for you guys? I barely hear it on my feedback system. Excellent. I'm running supposedly some pretty sophisticated noise cancellation. It can't be too sophisticated. I've figured it out. Voice is muffled? Okay, let me... Is this any better? Radar, how you doing, man? Vance, you weren't supposed to tell him about that. Here's where it gets fun. bit that I didn't get to exactly. That's okay. What do you think? Yes, that was cutting. You have figured that out already. This is an 80-watt CO2 laser. And here's a 9/16 socket for scale. Then no Cy will know how big that is. All right, now the next part of this. Change the camera view. All right. And I will tell you one thing, do your best to never put your finger in front of a laser. I just did for a microsecond. That's going to be fun tomorrow. All right. What I'm going to do now is I have made a solution of titanium dioxide and 90% rubbing alcohol. I'm going to spray that across this tile, and then I'm going to engrave the tile with the laser. It's fine, Llyons. It'll be good. It's not that bad. I'll definitely know about it, though. And then Jackie will be on me. You shouldn't have been doing that. That was stupid. She'd be right. All right, let me get some test here. There we go. Now I'm going to open up the back section of my fume extraction. So hopefully the noise won't get too much louder. It will get a little louder, I guess. One coat. With the heat gun, evaporate that alcohol real quick. Some people do this with white spray paint, but in the house, even with that's a 6-inch pipe right there, that you see, and that is pulling out over 650 cubic feet of air per minute. But even with that, the smell from the aerosol makes it upstairs. And I don't want that smell going all the way through the house because my shop is in the basement of my house. I didn't use it all. Okay, cool. Got a massive coat on here. Way more than I need, I think. Dry that out. And then we'll go back over to the laser view. BK, this is the second time I've made that mistake. This time it was just because I was being silly and I was going to grab the troll that Vance made before it fell off. And my finger passed right in front of it. Ah! You can't see the laser, and it's easy to not realize where your hand is, because the laser is not visible to the human eye. Now, I'll show you guys. Let's bring this up to you. This was a shiny tile, and to show you the amount that I got on there, just rub off that corner. Go back over and set up the laser again. Now, woodworkers always use, well, not always, many woodworkers, I should say, use jigs, wooden pieces that they make so that you can remember where to put your piece when you're doing multiples, and you can do it over and over and over again. Well, the laser never makes contact with the physical piece of material, so I didn't see a reason in making wooden jigs. So I make paper jigs. And when I make a paper jig, it looks like this. Now I know precisely where to put that tile. Eventually I'll have a much better camera system set up so you guys can see a better angle than you're looking at right now. Ready for the next part, Si? Scoot, how you doing? Hopefully I got the sound worked out. At some point I will also be able to show my camera view with you guys. Maybe Harry can help me out with that. Don't need the air pressure up that high. And send that over. Right now my computer is sending the image over to the laser. I'm glad you're liking it, Llyons. It was because of you and Vance at Cobb Mountain that I started doing this, so I figured did a little thank you back for you guys. Now I definitely need to get your address so I can send you this. Here we go. Some people make stickers. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't know. I got to talk to Jackie about it. Thank you, Evie. Appreciate it, man. I'm used to talking to myself, so I just put the microphone there and you guys get to ride along. And it starts. Downside to these lasers, if you want to get full scientific about it, this one runs at 1062 nanometers, and it is outside our field of view. We can't see those colors, that light spectrum. That flash you're seeing is the titanium dioxide interacting with the laser, and it goes from the pure white form to its actual color, which is black. And Lyon and Vance love talking, dropping all this knowledge on you, but if you look at it near your food that's white, that uses food coloring, it will say titanium dioxide. You have a very calming voice. Thank you, Star. You recognize this yet, Llyons? We're learning and shit. So I had mentioned some people use paint to do this, real quick before I forget. The problem with paint is you really got to strip it off after you're done with this, otherwise it will flake off the tile later. When I'm done engraving this, all I got to do is rinse it with water, and all that titanium dioxide powder comes off. And since it originally was a rock, it is absolutely eco-friendly. It's good. I'm going to catch up on the chats here. When this is done, and that titanium dioxide is fused to the surface of the ceramic tile, you can hit that with sandpaper. You're going to take the white of the ceramic tile off before you'll take this black off. Since that it's actual tile, if you wanted to, you could put it into the kitchen backsplash in your kitchen. You're really egotistical. Put it in your shower. That way when you're washing off, you can see it on the shower wall all the time. Hey, Pilato. I think I figured out the sound this time. No one's complaining that everything's really loud and it's the same equipment I was using before. And this time I didn't mess your name up. I will celebrate every little win. I think so, Evie. When you see those videos on YouTube of lasers running and things like that, they're going super fast. That is all sped up. Yeah, BK, I was trying to be subtle, but I didn't want to say, if you don't come, you're going to feel like an idiot. So I've got a couple other things. I've got working on prototypes for a customer that has hired me to make some coasters for them, and he wants the image of bucks on there, deer with antlers. I've got a couple of them to try. I don't know if you guys are interested in hanging around to see that happen or not. Vance, man, I would love to do that for you, but my laser, the smallest it can go is only 30 nanometers. I don't know if it can make it that small. But yes, I could print it on cloth, yes. One of the things I do is I cut the patterns out, some of the bags my wife Jackie makes. And one thing she hates about sewing is cutting, so I use the laser. You like that, Stu? Normally I do test runs of images and things on tiles. So I'm seeing this for the first time with you guys. I have never seen this on a tile yet. What's got your mind blown, BK? No, it cannot cut metal, but it can mark metal. There are different frequencies of light that can cut and engrave metal. Fiber lasers, for one, can do that. They're a different light frequency. But I could spray something onto aluminum or something like that and etch it. worries. No worries, Si. Like I said, I did not want to interrupt your live, but I kind of wanted you to see this. Oh yes, BK, it cuts. It cut this out. I just ruined any short I was going to take of this or time lapse by putting that in there. Oops. In, well, no, I guess in theory it might be able to, but the light doesn't react with it the same way. If I spray it with chemical marking solutions, then the laser interacts with the marking solution and etches onto the metal. But if I need to mill aluminum or something like that, I'd use my CNC for that, or an angle grinder and weld it. That's something else you might eventually see me do on this channel is some welding. That's why when I saw the welder in the back of Llyons' shop there, I had to question him on it. I'm like, is that a welder that I see? All right, I missed Evie's post. Let me catch up on it. Yeah, Evie, I did think about that. Technically, with the software that I have, I could have invited him to do a collab video so that we would have seen that. I would very much have enjoyed that. However, I don't know the software that well yet. Maybe one day when I figure that out, we can have 3 or 4 channels together and just all be giving each other shit while we build stuff. So after this, are you guys interested in seeing the coasters, the bucks that I'm going to be engraving for the customer? I got to do some test patterns. Pilotto, you do not move that slowly. Speed-wise, this right now is going at 205 millimeters a second. That's how fast it goes. It can go well over 700 millimeters a second. And I'm going to have to probably run this again because, Si, when your brother did this, it was at a slight angle. So if you notice, I'll pick up the camera in a minute when it's done. The bottom is slightly darker than the top. have to spray it again inside the laser bed, which I hate doing, but it's doable. If you notice the light and dark colors in the back, I've done it before. Tell you what, after this is done, we got about 4 minutes left on this. I will put the camera straight up and down on it so you guys get a better view. And you tell me if I should do it another round or if I should just let it stay like that. That motorcycle came up pretty good. Man, it's even my mistakes are intentional. Come on. Okay, I missed it. Yes, there is a big issue, a huge issue with fumes and the laser. And right now, my laser hood is open, so you would think that that allows air, the fumes from this, into the room. It does not. I have two inline 6-inch ducted fans. One's in the back of this machine, and one is outside at the exit of the exhaust. So one pushes air, one pulls air, and all smoke just gets sucked straight down through that honeycomb. The original exhaust fan that this came with and the original air compressor that was hooked up for the air assistance, no, it was not good. So I'm running a California Air Tools air compressor, which I have plumbed into this for the air assist. And like I said, I replaced the exhaust fume extractor with two different fans. That is pretty much done with the engraving. It's going over the whites now, so it's going to move out of the way in just a second. There it goes. And now I will move the camera so you guys can see it from a top-down view, and you tell me if I should do another run. What do you all think? Should I put some more titanium dioxide on it and run it again? You can see it's darker down here than it is up there. You mean I made a Brit speechless? Wow. chalk one up for the Yanks. Thank you, Star. I think I am going to spray it again because that upper area it's bugging. So on the second time I spray it, I will increase the speed just a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And help if I up the output pressure. There we go. And you get a real idea what this does. It is very, very fine coating that I put on it. Need to refill. This little tank is empty. Beans. Oh, be it too nice. Bean's gonna vomit. Trick is getting all this on there without getting any on the laser lens. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hold on, let me back it up here. We were talking about the exhaust head. Watch this. You see all that getting pulled, just disappearing? It's getting pulled down. Hopefully I've aimed this back. Let me change my programming so I can see what you guys are seeing. Okay, yeah, I did. Lower the pressure just a little bit. There we go. Accidentally had it up to 70 pounds of pressure. It only needs like 20. Now we'll get real good coverage, and eventually you'll start seeing it start to kind of disappear. Go figure. Definitely painting over it. Since I'm doing this twice, it's going to be really intense on that tile. That should do it. Lotto, great seeing you, man. All right, let me adjust the time here. I'm going to take us up to 400 millimeters a second. And increase the power just slightly. And estimated time has gone from 17 minutes to dun, da, 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 a whole 18 minutes. So we gained a minute. It's sending from the computer to the laser. I wonder if Vance checked his community page today. No, I'm not just standing here waiting. I'm waiting for it to send to the laser and also for the alcohol to dry, to evaporate. And it looks like it has. Change over from the airbrush to the laser. I only have one air compressor output set up with the air dryers on it, so I don't want water going through the laser. That would be bad. And I just bumped the camera. Of course I did. Let me double check that real quick. Yep. I bumped it but good. There we go. And second burn starts now. Nice beans. That is something I'm trying to work out, how to have music play and not get in trouble with YouTube. Yeah, that's much darker now. While that is going, I'm going to get the program set up for the coasters I got to do. I think I turned the volume down on my phone all of a sudden. Don't need to hear an echo of me talking. I could make my own, yeah. Yeah, I have made music before. Yes, Julie, I am. As soon as he gives me an address to send it to, I'll be getting that out in the mail to him. I agree, Vance. Or, or we could go over there and he could give us a tour of every pub. I would not mind a pub crawl across England, Scotland, and Ireland. I also would love to have the money to be able to afford that. Yeah, BK. Go on an actual guided tour by side. That'd be incredible. Go down there and feed all the geese bread, and then when the people come up to complain, say, "Hey, he said we could." I just heard something go tink. I don't think it is, but it is a possibility that the tile could crack. Someone asked earlier, is it hot? It'd be warm. Tile does a great job of absorbing heat and dispersing it. That's why I sell these actually as trivets with a cork backing on them, so you can use it as a hot plate. Put your super hot bowls on it, your pots and pans from cooking. Like I said earlier, if you wanted to, you could put it into a tiled wall, a kitchen backsplash, or your bathroom, or if you have a tile floor, you could put it on the floor and then walk all over your logo. I'm going to have to watch that movie again. Go get a proper Irish breakfast with all the trimmings. Watch Vance try to eat some haggis. Hey, Amy, thank you. BK's trying to fix you up with her daughter. Be careful, man. Hi, Amy. gotta admit, man, it's kind of weird being on this side of the camera and seeing all those names pop up. And I'm starting to get used to the lag a little bit. Although the anticipation of waiting to see when Cy would realize what this was killing me. So, BK, you're hoping Cy's going to be her tour guide and bodyguard while she's there, huh? I am one of those crazy people that does what they say they're going to do, as long as it's physically possible. The boyfriend will be there. I am too, Scoot. Thank you for the validation. The image of the wrench and spoon and motorcycle now, I mean, they popped before, but now they really pop. And the best part of that is after this is done, the only cleanup I have to do is wash it off with water and a brush. Don't have to deal with any paint or anything like that. But to put the cork backing on it, I use contact cement, so that kind of stinks, literally. All right, it's done with the burn. And since as of yet I haven't figured out how to exactly share my screen with you guys, I am going to move a camera around and aim it over my shoulder or in front of me at the computer so you guys can actually see what I see on the computer. Don't worry, Vance, I won't show all the porn you sent me. All right. See, I will be sending both of these to Cy. And to show you how large that is, those are some powerful magnets. Try this again. It says tile is just under 6 inches. And this is 3 3/4. If you want to convert that, you can. IBK, this is my thank you to both Llyons and Cobb, because I did a set like this for Cobb the other day when my sound was all jacked up. All right, time to switch cameras. Now you can see my computer. Over here. This is the program I use, Lightburn. And I'm going to wait till the video catches up so I can see it myself. Ta-da! Excellent. Now, close this out, create a new one. Yes, save the changes. You know what I think I didn't do? I don't think I sent these images to my computer. So, give me a quick second here. Since I'm not using the air compressor at the moment, I'm going to shut that off. You guys might not hear it as much, but I definitely do. All right. Bear with me. I'm getting all these images that I created sent over. And to be honest, they are created using AI. I started sketching them by hand and then switched over to the AI to finish it up. Where the heck are they? There they are. Okay. While I switch this back over and I enter passwords in, I'm going to switch the camera. So I don't want Vance going in there and getting my emails. He would have way, way, way too much fun. Almost done sending these over. That's enough for right now. Back into Lightburn. Phenomena. Here are the images. Here's the first one. I'm going to cheat and use my check up on chat real quick. Hold on one second. Sorry, I was focused on that and missed everything. Open search history. You'd be so bored, Cobb. There'd be nothing about midgets. or little people. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on that image on the computer, and then let you guys get a better look. Once I get it. Ta-da! All right, that's the first image I'm looking at engraving. And since I've done most of the work on this already, all I need to do is change the size. So make it 4 inches. Then go over to the power and set that at 200, and I think I'll only need 30% power. So remember 2.219. You guys got that? I need to create a box. Actually, no, I don't. Disregard. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to switch back to the other camera. Move this boom camera out of my way. It will, hopefully. It will print exactly that as long as I have done it correctly. And that's why I do tests, because even with knowing the material, how good, bad, or indifferent it is, you can never be sure, because every board is different. Even though I'm using plywood for this, every board is different. And I'm going to move the laser over to the area so I have an idea where my camera, where I need to put the board. So you should see the camera move into view, the laser move into view. There it is. And that is approximately center on my picture. So, yeah, that'll work. Since I am doing a test, I get to use a board that I've already used. I will adjust the camera so you guys can see it better, because it's in a slightly different position than it was before. There we go. Now, just to make sure I have it in the right place, I'm going to do what's called framing it. And it'll move the laser around so I can see I got the image in the right spot. Next thing I'm going to do is I am verifying my focus, my focal length. So I get the dot, the laser beam, exactly the thickness I want it for this engraving. And then we get to send it, and we see what comes out. Sending the program to the laser now. If by chance this is too big of a file and it won't send via Wi-Fi, I'll have to hook up my Ethernet cable, which will only take a second. Thank you, BK. Scoot, I expect nothing less. Llyons, I'm a chameleon. I don't know anything. I just pretend like I do. All right. And it would help if I turn the air compressor on. If I don't turn the air compressor on, we will get a flame. And I really don't want that. But I will turn it down just to start so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Lasers are fun, but dangerous. Here we go. Now I'm turning the air compressor up, and you'll see the smoke disappearing. And the estimated time on this image is 8 minutes. I was going to create a box around this image size so I could engrave a square, just like I did here on the paper, and place it correctly, but I really didn't need to do that. And that was the vertical height. The image is 2.9219 inches. And I was afraid I was going to forget that. Now, I haven't done any computer editing for the laser on this image, so this is straight from my sketch, the AI doing what it did, and I have not done any graphic editing in this program to make it better. So we'll see how this turns out, how we like it, then I'll do some editing, and then I'll burn it again after I edit it. This is part of the process. This is what I went through getting your logos done. Oh no, it doesn't need to cool. No. The amount of time that that laser beam is passing across it is so short. But what would be helpful is if I did create that box so I can cut it out. DK, I actually ended up did needing to use your number. Thank you. Catch up on the chat here real quick. Yes, it is plywood. If you go to Lowe's, Vance, or Home Depot and you find underlayment, that is what this is. It's the same plywood you put over top of the thick plywood on your floor when you're putting down carpet. And this is what helps keep your floor from squeaking. And that image is going to need a lot of work. Have I named the laser? Tentatively, yes. My wife Jackie came up with a funny name. And so as of right now, we're calling it Bernice. And I need to come up with a name for the troll that Vance made that's going to ride right there. You're welcome, Vance. It's true, man. You want to call this one Lewis? Well, I still have the other one that's going to go on the CNC too, so. Bernice. ICE. Yeah, that image's not looking good at all. That takes some work. When it's done, I'll cut it out, hold it up to the camera so you guys can see what I'm seeing. All right, now here is definitely where I would have a fire if I didn't have the air on. And I am not going to show you that. Bernice and Lewis. Okay, I see. I see where you're going with that. And I have a feeling no matter what I call it now, Vance is going to call her that. I was going to put googly eyes on it somewhere, but I saw this gnome and I'm like, that's better. And I have no idea why it's doing that cut twice. It does not need to. I should have double checked the program. It's already cut it out. All right, there we go. And this is the troll I've selected to ride there. I figured the spiky hair and glasses would work. What do you guys think? This is one of them that I got from Cobb, Llyons. He's always supervising. All right, now back to the computer cam. No. So, real quick, I'm going to show you my setup because you can't really see it from the computer cam. So we have this boom coming down, and I don't know if I've shown you this or not, but those two tracks, this boom slides all the way down. Sorry for Blair Witching you all. And there you can see the laser and the camera on the tripod. Eventually, this camera will be mounted on the inside of the lid right here. So I'll be able to close the lid and do all the cutting and engraving and still be able to see it without possibly being exposed to the laser. Because that'd be bad. You have Lewis fiddling. Yes, I now have a troll army here thanks to Vance. I have 4 of them. And they migrate across my shop. One of them, Lewis, is going upstairs to Jackie's area, but I still have this one. And number 9. Or is that 6? That's 9. You wrote the line on the bottom of it. I see them now. And I guess that is 6. Some of the work that Vance has done. The obsidian candle holder and the other candle holder in the box have all made it upstairs to Jackie's sewing room. I thought number 9 was a self-defense gnome. That's why that one's going on the laser, or not the laser, excuse me, on the CNC machine, because that's where all the blades come in contact with everything. We have trolls in chat too. Are you talking about Llyons and Vance? Okay, so here is how that engrave came out. You can see the image, but it's nowhere near what we want. That's going to take a heck of a lot of editing to try and get it right. But I'll try a quick trick. See if it does any good. All right, get rid of the line. Don't need that. Bring the image back. There's our image. Come on. There we go. Adjust image. And we'll see the before and the after. There are several different computer program processes, I can say that, to look through. But I'm going to start with Stucky. Raise the gamma a little bit. Increase our contrast. And I know that that looks extreme on the computer. I'm waiting for the lag so I can see it. There it goes. See how the back end of it really gets bright. And that's kind of what we're looking for. One of the things I noticed, where did I put it? I've already lost the image. All right. You can see the grains in the wood because of how the laser went across it. So I've changed the direction of the wood. Next time I engrave it, it's going to be on the board with the board facing this way with these changes. And let's see what we get. Make sure I get the laser centered. I'm going to switch over to the laser now, so you all can see that image. Now I'll move the laser to the center of the image, hopefully. Here it comes. Frame it to make sure everything's covered. Move it down just a wee bit. There we go. All right, before I start this, catch up on chat real quick. BK, I thought about doing this whole thing with both Llyons and Cobb tomorrow on April Fool's Day. And they'd be like, yeah, I don't know who did that. That wasn't my live. But I couldn't figure out how I was going to pull that off. I could be a sneaky bastard, but I don't think I could be that sneaky. I should say I didn't have the energy to be that sneaky. Put it that way. Okay. Now let's see what we get. I'm going to increase speed to 300 millimeters instead of 2 and send it. And air is on. Sending the image. Get some rest, brother. Go to sleep. Here it goes. See what we get. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already seeing a difference. time I got it, and it's kind of looking better on the camera than it is in real life. Definitely not the quality of image I want to go for the customer, but it's a nice improvement. I should have added a huge hog to the deer. Not what the customer wanted, buddy. All right, dude. Now you got me waiting for the rest of the story. Can I run a part program? What do you mean, making parts? The file formats I can use, any STL file. I can convert PNG files. I can convert almost any file into something I can use. Is that what you're referring to, Si? Oh, you mean like that? Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I can pause the program. I can stop it where it is. If I lose power, let's say we have a lightning storm, we lose power. When the laser powers back up, it actually keeps the program that I'm running in memory, so I can pick up from where it left off. My sister retired from the Navy after 20 some years, and she now works with the ASPCA. She has over 20 cats, 40 cats, something like that, in her yard that were all from feral groups of cats. And she goes out and feeds 5 or 6 other groups of feral cats in Western Virginia. All right, now let's cut that out. That way when we're comparing them, we don't have to hold up the whole board. one thing that Jackie and I want to do is we want to start a rescue, but for dogs and other horses and things like that. All right, so while that was going, I already made a change, but we can see the improvement we got so far. I hope you can see that on camera. Let it show you a little bit better. So we're getting there, but it's not quite right. And I will go through 15 to 20 iterations until I get it just the way I want it. Then I write it down and I save that file. And 6 months to a year down the road, if somebody wants to buy more of these, I can just go right back to that file and recreate it. Llyons cats had opinions today. This time I slowed it down and I increased the speed. Slowed it down and increased the power. Words, I can talk. So we're at the same speed as the first one I did. Yeah, Star. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to switch cameras. That's as far as it goes. So here's the first one. And then here's the second. We're getting a lot more detail and a lot less burn. I'm trying to get you better light on it so you can see it better. My shadow's in the way. There we go. And I think the one that's burning now, hopefully, will look even better. Switch back over to that view. I don't think Llyons would want to eat hoagie dough. Try and catch up on the chats here. Okay, I didn't miss much. I do. I know what you mean. Like when Yeah, people scratch it and then they let the copper tarnish. All right, Si, is it 9 o'clock there or is it 10 o'clock there now? I thought you were 4 hours ahead of me, but you confused me earlier today talking about the summer time change. Ten p.m. now. All right. So now you guys are 5 hours ahead of me. That's the effect I'm trying to go for, is that it is a photo and not just a an image of the buck. I mean, I could, and I'll show you this real quick. As lasers go, this is what I'm going to show you is a fun thing to do. It's called tracing the image, and it'll make a hard line out of so many different things. It's kind of hard to explain. Much like the way a newspaper much the way the newspaper uses dots to print the paper, and then you can look at it at a distance. All right, that one looks much better on camera than it does to me in person. But that's because it still has some of the ash in there. Much like any wood, you wet it down, it's going to look a little bit different. But we'll see about that. I'm glad you like it, dude. Ah, you got a whole 20-minute nap. Wow. That's an improvement. Okay, time to cut this one out. And then I'll put all three down in the camera so we can see what we've got so far. Not terrible. I'm going to use the airbrush to knock some of the soot and dust off of it. Do that to all three, see how they look. All right, that was interesting. I just did something accidentally, but I'm going to continue with this. I forgot to take out the solution of the titanium dioxide and alcohol, and I hit it with that. It looks kind of interesting. I'm going to continue and do that, and then wipe it off. See what it does. Inadvertent mistake. All right. I'm glad this wasn't the final result. I'd have to give a refund or make it again, but since this is testing, I'm making it again anyway. It looks kind of cool. Kind of raised the highlights up a little bit. What do you guys think? Which camera am I on right now? Because I'm not seeing anything. Is it still connected? Oh, there we go. It is working. What do you guys think about that? Inadvertent, but pretty cool. It might come out nice when I finally sand it. But there's the third one. I'm going to put them all together here. See if I can give you guys a better close-up of all three without Blair Witching you too much. So you get the first, second, third. That titanium dioxide really brought it out, didn't it? I'm going to have to work that into the plan somehow, because that was not expected. You're an old lady, BK? Nah. You're not old until you're older than Vance. This time, I'm going to do something slightly different. Change camera so you can see. Another edit that can be done on the image is to trace it. That's what I was talking about. And all that purple you see there is where it'll actually burn. So I say okay to that. And now that's what the laser is going to do. And it looks really weird in this format. I'll give you a preview of what the computer thinks it's going to look like. And that looks nothing like what we want. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I am not going to waste materials with that one. So let me go back, and I will adjust image again. I will take us back to grayscale, which is what I'm hoping will do better. I try not to do too many changes at one time because it starts making it hard to keep track of things. But if I do only one change at a time in a truly scientific method, I don't have enough material for that. So I got to do 2 or 3 at a time. And we'll see how this is what the computer thinks this is going to come out looking like. If it looks something like that, that'll be cool. We'll see how it works on the wood. Wrong one. Switch cameras again. Back to this. Frame it out to make sure I'm in the right area. I am. Sending it to the computer. Tracking along, this one is at 200 millimeters a second and 30% power. So this is an 80-watt CO2 laser, and the max power I have it set to run is 80%, so this is 30% of 80% of what this laser can do. And let's give it some air assist so it doesn't smoke the house up. But on that, you got to see how it smoked it out. And I don't know why it's running the cut pattern. It's not what I told it to do. Well, that was interesting. I didn't tell it to cut that out. Very interesting. Take 17. There we go. Now we'll see what we get. Scoot, AI took over a long time ago. Ryan, you're absolutely right. It's just letting us think we have control. While that's happening, I rinsed the one that I actually sprayed with the titanium dioxide off. And now I'm hitting it with a heat gun to try and dry it out. Still looks pretty good. You missed a lot, Vance? What'd you miss? Yeah, BK, I've had to learn to use AI. Used to do a lot of sketching, not a lot, but I used to do sketches by hands. I do a lot of architectural drawings and mechanical drawings. But injured the hand, my wrist, going on almost 3 years ago now. And since then, holding a pen or pencil, not a good thing. Yeah, Vance, I'll show you in a second here. This one's almost done. Going through testing and editing of the image, but when you're working with a laser and the software, the image you see on screen, it's not always how it comes out looking on the lumber. So you got to go back and do a few tests to get it just right. Once you get it right, and you use scrap lumber, things like that, but once you get it right, then you can reproduce it as many times as you want. Yeah, BK, I just got last week, I got cleared from physical therapy, so doing exercise with it now and be able to work with the stylus. It still hurts a little bit here and there, but sketching is definitely a skill that is, you can lose it if you don't use it. So this was I started this with by hand sketching it, and then I had AI come in and finish the shading and embellishments for me. Obviously, that did not work, Si. From my point of view, this is the best looking one yet. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. The other one looks pretty good too. I'll put them both on screen. I'll put 3 and 4 on screen. I can use pencils now, yes. It's just sometimes it hurts holding them. All right, I'm going to up the air pressure. Just blowing all the soot out of it. Now I'm going to change cameras. And we're back back on the boom, top-down view. Okay. That's interesting. So here's the first view. That was the first. Here's the second. You can see where that got dark right there because of moisture from the third. So I'll go rinse this off in just a second. Here's the third, the one I accidentally sprayed with the white titanium. Come on, get in focus. There we go. And this is the last one, which I'm not liking at all. I thought it was the best, but no. Looking at it in person, it does not look that good. The house looks nice. I don't know if I need to turn up the... I don't know. I'm going to try one last thing here. I'm going to go back to my image. Give it 15% minimum power. Before it was 0, so it was either on or off. Now you can see down here, I think you can see it, I'm not sure. 250 on the bottom right. 330% is max power, 15% is min power. So we should get a little bit more depth on this one. Guys a little bit better view. I wish I could get you all closer than that. But if I do, then the camera's going to get damaged by smoke and everything. All right, back to it. Frame it out. Yep, we're in the right spot. Give it some air pressure. And I'm going to send it. The way they get laser images inside of glass or acrylic, BK, is you have two different laser beams and they pass through the acrylic, and where the laser beams touch each other, it gets hot just for a tiny, tiny, tiny second. And that creates a little bubble inside the acrylic. Means like I could put light behind this, yeah, but this is 1/4 inch thick plywood that is fiberglass reinforced. So yeah, you're not going to see light through it. And I can already see that change. I'm not liking it. Need to turn that minimum power back off. But I'll let this go. And since it's already messed up, we'll try something else without moving this. But see right in here, I already got the horizontal lines from the grain showing up. Now I could move my lines per inch closer together. That would change it. See what we're set at. Yeah, I'm set at 254 dots per inch. So I've increased the dots per inch, and I'm just going to engrave right over the same one and see what we get. Sometimes doing 2 passes is better, just like you saw on Llyons' sign, the little tile I made for him. Star, I hope so, but I need his address first so I can send it to him. Wes, how you doing, man? You found my live after I've seen yours so many times. Good to see you in here. When this is done, I'll show you what I did before. This is testing a design for a customer because they want that image or an image of a buck on wooden coasters. So I'm laser engraving them. I'm surprised you're not running a live Wes. You do them almost 24/7, man. You're one of the hardest working people I've ever seen on YouTube. Si, both our minds are cooked. Don't feel bad. I just started using these programs that you're seeing me use here just over about 2 years ago, and there are 9 different programs that I use. 4 for graphic editing and design, and then you add the AIs on top of that. And then there are 3 different programs that I use to do editing for the laser, and then again for the CNC milling machine. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Shawnee. I was afraid you guys would find this boring. It is. That right now is moving at 250 millimeters a second. This machine can do between 700 to 800 millimeters a second, but then we wouldn't see the image. All right, before I start the next burn, I'm going to switch over and show Wes what this live was actually all about. And I have 2 cameras in here right now, Wes. Eventually I will have 5. One will be a wide angle, so you see the entire shop and me standing here. And then there'll be one aimed downward. And let me change cameras here real quick so I can show you. It's gonna, just like this, this is a boom camera right here, but this will be able to aim straight down. And that will be aimed primarily, this is a mess, but underneath all that's a scroll saw. So I'll be doing scroll saw work under there. But right now I'm using the boom to show my computer. And this is what live was all about. I did these earlier for Llyons because Llyons and Vance were the ones that convinced me to doing lives. The first one was on plywood. This one is a ceramic tile, just like you would get at Lowe's or Home Depot. And here are the ones that I did for Vance, Cobb Mountain. Since those two guys convinced me to do this, I put this together as a thank you for them. All right, I'm going to switch the screen back, and I'm going to set up to do that second carve. I've got everything changed. And I'm sending it over. Let's see what it does. I'm going to be doing a second carve. I'm not moving this. It's going to carve right over it. And let's see what we get. And that smoke means I need to turn the air assist on. But Pilato was asking earlier about the fumes. You can see how the smoke is getting drawn back. It's going right out the fume extractor out of the back of the laser. So none of that ends up in the house. Although tomorrow, when I first come down in here and I open the laser up, it does smell like you've been at a campfire, which is pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, Wes, if you want to get a laser like this, it's doable. It's only 3.5 feet tall, 5 feet deep, and 6.5 feet wide. Weighs about 500 pounds. This is a Monport 80-watt CO2 laser. If you want to go fully American made, you could do Thunder Laser and spend $15,000 to $25,000. Cobb, if you want to pay for it, I'll do it. It won't be 3D though. I mean, I could carve that 3D, but not tile. And by the way, this laser is powerful enough that yes, it can carve a physical ceramic tile. It can actually make it 3D depth like a bas relief. The hard part on that is sometimes tiles react differently and it ends up molten. You could use your Dremel. Or get yourself a flex shaft rotary tool. Those work well. We're getting, looks like almost a millimeter of depth there. Llyons, yes, it can carve a spoon. Oh, I do Dremel work too. I have power carvers. I'll show you after this in just a second. Actually, I'll run upstairs real quick and I'll get it because it's upstairs. I have a power carver that is a pneumatic powered dental drill. Does 400,000 RPM. And yes, it sounds exactly like a dentist drill when it fires up. I will be right back. Give me a chance to grab a cup of coffee too. almost done. It's only got like 2-3 minutes left on it, I think. That might actually look really cool after it's sanded. It might. Keep the robotic hands off your frickin' spoons. I'm catching up on the chat real quick. Yeah, Llyons, if you need the address here, I'll send it to you again. Yeah, the AI will be rounding us up. Yeah. I would love to see an AI crush a natty ice. Where is that? I have. All right, that's done. Now let's cut it out. Nice software, Stephanie. That's got some serious depth to it. Hold it down so you guys can see it. There we go. Hit that with a light sand, that might actually work out. I don't know. Yeah. Getting closer to what I want. There you go. Getting closer. So I am going to change the setup here real quick. Since Wes is here. And show you my debacle of a shop. There we go. You think I've cracked the code? I wouldn't go that far. All right. I'm going to shift over to the boom so I can move the other camera without giving you guys motion sickness. I think I've done enough Blair Witching today. What do you guys think? Now's the time to mess with Vance. Mana. Do 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 do. That wasn't good. Almost killed my computer with my tripod camera. Not good at all. There we go. I definitely need to get a longer USB cable for this camera. Eventually, it will be my DSLR that will be doing this. And it'll be set up high on the wall so it can't get messed up. And the only moving camera I will have is the boom, which you guys are about to see. Let's see here. All right, I'm partially on screen. Ta-da. Okay. Hey, Wes. Good to see you. This is the boom camera I was talking about. And I can move it all the way down as far as need be. Bring it over here to the top of my workbench, which is the top of a table saw, and give you guys that view. Or I can bring you guys up and take you on a panning tour. It only sees part of my shop because of the limit to the boom. And back on the main screen. So my shop is small. It is so small that I don't have a workbench. Top of my table saw, my rigid table saw is my workbench. There's one wall. You can barely see me touching it. Let me move the camera. This is a 10 by 20 room in the bottom of a townhome. Hopefully you can see it now. So I can't do both. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, cool. So that's as far as I can reach to one wall, because that's why I got the shelves there. And over here, out of view in the boom camera is actually mounted on what I have for my CNC machine. And my CNC is totally covered with crap right now. Inside this debacle, this is a CNC machine, and I can work on something 24 inches wide and 55 inches long, if I remember correctly. And switch back over to just staring at you. Ta-da! So welcome to my shop. Factory floor in China. Yeah. I have walking space 3 feet, not including clutter, 3 feet to about 8 feet is my square footage of where I can walk around in the shop. But I don't need to walk far. Eventually I hope to have Jackie, my wife, and I hope to have a farm and a large property, kind of like you, Wes, with a the pond in back where I can go fishing and chill out, and actually build a full-size shop. And when I do that, I'll probably still have all my tools this close together and just have the rest for storage. That would be nice. Right now I have storage up above the bandsaw. I've got storage above the CNC machine, in front of the CNC machine, and it's still not enough in trying to work with large pieces of wood. Get 50 workers in here. Yeah, right. Maybe if they were just a little bit bigger than the defense gnome. Maybe. I'll try and turn the camera again just a little bit. There we go. Once again, catch up on chat. Am I out of camera view again? No, I'm not. Okay. It's finally coming up. This room is like a mansion in London. Okay. I get my steps in, yes. We're in a 3-level townhome. So I have an HOA here. I don't even have my shop vac in my shop. My shop vac is outside. And can you see it? No, I moved the camera away. Of course you can't see it. Anyway, I got a pipe right there, and it's plumbed out to a sound dampening box where my shop vac is. And to turn on the shop vac, all I need to do, besides find where I put that remote, I put it back. Hey. So I just push the remote control button. And it shop vac turns on. And it's pretty strong. It's got some good pull to it. And let's see. But Vance, if you took them out of the house, wouldn't you feel lonely? And what would Tater do? I mean, he doesn't have them to hump all day long. What would Tater do? HOAs can be hell. Beans, HOAs can be hell. Jackie, my wife, bought this before we got together. I ended up moving in with her here. But our HOA is actually pretty cool. We're very lucky. Knock on wood. Because that could change at any given day. Spoonbot activate, love it. So yeah, I will be carving some spoons, but I'm going to do it in a little bit different way. And yes, just to irritate Llyons. Just to irritate Llyons. I could use an old 1970s Boy Scout axe. I won't. I could use the multiple other blades I have in here. But no, I think the way I'm going to carve the spoon is on the CNC machine. Because I have a 4th axis, I can actually carve like a lathe in 3D. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to take it over to the laser, or I might even put the laser on here. I have a 7-watt diode laser that mounts onto the CNC machine. so I don't have to move the materials at all. And then I'm going to engrave something onto that spoon. I have no idea what yet. It's good. You got a BSA axe? Yeah. The emblem is almost gone. It's still slightly there. And yes, I still use it. Yeah, they won't let us paint the house at all. We have approved colors for our actual address. It's all different because in our development, and just luckily we're okay with the colors, but each house in the townhome is a slightly different shade. And then once they built it, that was the color that was done, and you had to keep with it. Your house was red, Scoot? All right. Hey, Wes, are you familiar with Doctor Who? I will sharpen it up and I will probably carve something with it, yes. I will do that just for you, Lyons. You still with us, Wes? Ah, I was asking if you're familiar with the TV show Doctor Who. Because if you are, then you might know what the TARDIS is. If you aren't, look up TARDIS, TARDIS. That is what the door to my shop looks like. And eventually I will have a video, one of the welcome to our channel videos, where you'll see me going through the TARDIS door into here. I can show you the back side of it right now. Or I will try to at least. See what my cables do. Phenomena. Alright, you can see down our hallway. Is that? Nope, Jasper's not there. So, this whole area right here, that whole area opens up as one big door. Or you can open up one side of it and go through, and it looks like the TARDIS door on the other side. I do not have long enough cables to take you there and show you that right now. Yes, BSA is Boy Scouts of America, Lyons. I'm glad you like it, Wes. I was thinking about making it look like the like Narnia. You know, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and you go through a wardrobe to come in. But I love Doctor Who, and my wife finally got into it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make it look like the TARDIS. So you come downstairs and you see our laundry room, another room down here, and then boom, the police box just at the end of the hall. And it says police box on the top. And eventually I'm gonna put lights up in there, LED lights up in there, so that when the police box is lit up, the family knows I'm making videos or live streaming. Not that I care. They can come in anytime and say hi. They know I'm in here. And if they want to be on video, they will. Reading the chat on the TV up there on the wall. That way I don't have to wear my glasses to read my phone. And I say that now I look down at the phone. So I think I'm going to end this live in just a minute here. I might do another one later on tonight if Cobb isn't going to. And I don't know, I mean, Llyons, you need to get some sleep. Wes, thank you. I'm glad you like it, man. Um, Underneath, just, I didn't say this, but I got shelves underneath there. I got the drill press underneath it that tried to kill me the other day in one of my lives. Air compressor, and a few other big things that, like a planer that I don't use anymore because I have the CNC. It doesn't plane as fast, but it does a great job. And it lets me just put the board in and move on and check it when it's done. I don't have to stand there and monitor, and I'm not at the other side trying to pull the board through. You don't know if you'll be alive or be live. Excellent, Si. Cake always makes you feel better, unless you eat too much of it. I have, so just out of curiosity, can you guys hear any machine noise right now? Just out of curiosity. Take your word on that. Roller bars. Excellent. Right now I have two inline fans going that are pulling fumes from the laser up across the room, down, and out a 6-inch pipe right there. I've got one inline fan on the outside and one in the laser. And that runs at about 50, 60 decibels. So the fact that you guys can't hear it means, yay, this noise cancellation is working. That's a whole other live stream there, Beans. No, no, Vance, you don't. No, Van, you don't. But, excellent. Excellent, I'm glad. And I've got the little thing clipped on right here right now. But when I'm going to be doing more work, let's say with a table saw or something like that, I can put this in the pocket and it's got a lavalier mic that I can bring up and click on. Yeah, Cobb, of course you'd approve that. Well, guys, I hope you liked it. Llyons, I can't wait to see what I made end up in Sherwood Forest. That would be quite interesting. Having something made end up in California will be great too. But yeah, you kind of got a beat with the Sherwood Forest. Anyway, I'm going to end it here, guys. Thanks for coming out. Wes, welcome. Thank you for coming to my stream. You think about anything that you saw in here, any suggestions that could make it work a little bit better for me? Anybody, other than say clean it up. I know that shit. Working on it. But I will talk with you later. Star, it was great having you here. Good night, Beans. I'll probably see you guys in either Wes's live or in Cobb's live. And Llyons, if you go live again, you're not going to get any sleep, brother. You're welcome, Llyons. You pushed me, I hope, in the right direction, and so did Vance. So it was nice to be able to do that for you guys. And with that, I'm going to say good night.